Let's get into the sports talk.
Live. Welcome to Good Morning Football. Everybody, we're in New York City, June 24th. Where has the time gone, Negro?
Oh, man, the football season is almost here. MJD was popping, man. Where's the time gone? I think it's 4 o'clock West Coast time right now, so I'm...
This shirt is an entire mood on a Monday. What's going on here? I love it.
It's my summer mood.
Yeah, that shirt is happy hour. That ain't 4 a.m.
It's summertime.
You can tweet the show at #GMFP. That's right. We are live. We've got headlines on headlines.
You're right about that. Listen, Saquon, or shall I say, Saquaz, you let the world know that diamonds and the Rookie of the Year titles are forever. I don't know if you guys saw this. There was a chain given to him by Baker Mayfield. Did you see that, MJD?
Hang it like a Lannister.
There you go. A little Game of Thrones action.
I'm still hurt by it, so I don't want to talk about it.
You're right about that. And also, I want everybody to calm down. I know you heard about Brett Favre coming out of retirement. His Instagram
was hacked?
I guess that's what everybody's saying. That's the new cool thing. It's hacked. Say something crazy and then just say it's hacked. So we'll get to that in a little bit. And we also have some great guests today. So if you're at home, there's no school. So you might as well kick back, relax, and watch the show. We have Justin Pugh and our guy Cam Jordan will be stopping by the breakfast table. So don't you go anywhere, okay? What we got going on?
Let's start with the wide receiver, though. We have a running back and a wideout, so I think things are going to get spicy here at the breakfast table. I will play the voice of reason among both of you.
Okay.
But I want to talk about a wideout right off the top, and Odell Beckham Jr., because let's start with Cleveland and New York, because we are still talking Giants. Beckham's making headlines yet again this offseason, discussing his time with his former team in an interview with Complex. Beckham said this, quote, "I was stuck at a place that wasn't working for me anymore. I felt like I wasn't going to be able to reach my potential there, mentally, physically, spiritually, everything I felt capable of doing. So I think allowing me to be in an environment where I can be myself and give it a different approach, I feel like my football will benefit." And
I agree with Odell. You know, the Giants need to move on from Eli. Eli, a good quarterback, but it's time to move on from him. Like, that wasn't helping Odell, but this would help him because he would his best friend from college, and they played good together. So I feel like he gonna reach his potential with the Browns because he got someone there that could talk to him and keep him from having temper tantrums like he had in New York, because there was so much dysfunctional up in New York, and it was just like it wasn't helping him. It's good to go to a different environment so he get a fresh start and reach his potential.
JD, starting with you, sort of translate this for me in your terms.
Well, I'll say this, football is an emotional game.
Yeah.
And if I can't be myself and I can't be, obviously Odell Beckham's boisterous, look at me, flashy, but he makes those plays on the field. He's a type A personality. If I can't be that, how can I have my play match on the field? And I think it's important that he realized that, the Giants realized that, and they made that move. And now he's kind of coming out saying a lot of things because he was so quiet when the trade went down. But sometimes things run stale. You just have to move on to be better, I feel like. I agree.
How was he not himself? He had tremendous seasons with the Giants. He broke records with the Giants. He accepted $90 million for 5 years to extend in a place where he wasn't spiritually, emotionally fulfilled. I like that Odell has this mentality. I also think if we keep asking him questions, he's going to answer them and talk about the Giants, and we'll dig into that. But there is something to be said for... I think people think that he wanted to leave the Giants. I don't believe that. I don't think he wanted to leave New York. I don't think you get a skyline of New York, which we see here from the 50th floor, all over your back, an entire landscape, if you aren't invested in love New York. Let's be honest here. He was broken up with. Maybe he wasn't totally happy in the relationship. He wanted some changes. I do like that now he's sort of embracing the fact that sitting with the Browns, seeing what that culture is like, he likes what he's seeing and where he is.
Well, I'll say this. I played for 3 different GMs, 2 different owners, 5 coaches.
Yeah.
And everyone's different, right? So let's remember, Jerry Reese drafted him. Tom Coughlin was there. And Tom kind of let his players play. He has strict rules, but when you're on the field, you got to play. Now all of a sudden you have Gettleman coming in, Shermer. They have a different mentality. And so it just didn't work. And that's where it might have happened, was after that fact. Now, you want to talk about the money. I don't think anyone here in the world is going to turn down 5 years, $90 million, regardless of how you feel. And I mean, you're going to make sure you get that bag. I don't think he wanted to leave New York at all, but I just think it just didn't work out.
Do you have any questions about how he's going to be in Cleveland?
I have zero.
Really?
I think I'm on the train, the thing in Cleveland. Like, I'm on the bandwagon except for week 3 when they play the Ramley. You know what I'm saying? I think the Browns are going to be something tough to deal with here in the near future.
And I agree. I'll echo that. I feel like they're going to be special. But when it comes to Odell and his statements, let me preach for a second. Forget about the money. Forget about the fame. Forget about the love from diehard fans. I feel like oftentimes players who aren't themselves or can't be themselves feel suffocated. And this morning I was looking at the definition. Suffocation, it's basically being deprived of air. But the secondary definition is feeling trapped or oppressed. And I feel like in so many ways, and I know maybe...
Yeah, Odell, it seemed like up there, they been wanting to get rid of Odell. Like, from the time he had that fight with Josh Norman and all them little temper tantrums he had, they been wanting to get rid of him. So you know that wasn't going to work out. And they been wanting to get far away from him. So it was toxic up there in New York. Like, it was just so much going on. Like, the environment will work out for him. For real. And I feel like he in a good place. I feel like Cleveland's going to be a good team this year with him. Cause he want to be there. He want to be in Cleveland. He been there for some months, and he liked the way that culture is over there. And you know, sometimes you got to get away from the toxic.
Those might be sitting at home saying, hey, you're being dramatic. I'm really not, though. Just think about Odell. He has all the fame in the world. He's not a superstar. He's a rock star. He's living in a city where every move you make is going to be documented and caught on camera. And then on top of that, you can't even be yourself in the one place that you're paid to be yourself, which is in between those lines. It seemed like every game there was one thing that we were counting. Oh, he's too emotional. Are those tears? There's no crying in football. What kind of celebration is that? It was moment after moment after moment, and I feel like these walls were closing in, and he became a little claustrophobic. Maybe he became a little suffocated. I'm trapped in the biggest city in the world, so for that reason, he's just being honest in how he feels.
Because it's so much media in New York. It's everywhere, but New York's a big city. So everything he did, they was just gonna keep attacking and keep on attacking him. That's what they do. Attacking. So it is like he had no room to do anything. It felt like he had to be a robot up there. They had to follow the orders and do what they say. And like, you gotta enjoy yourself when you're on that football field.
Towards the end of his stint with the Giants. So I know exactly where he's coming from, and I'm in full agreement. I feel like it's a perfect place for him in Cleveland.
Can't both be true, that he couldn't live up to his full potential here in New York, and also he had a part in him being traded from New York and a part of the fall? Can't both of those things exist together?
I
You're
guess.
saying he gets no blame?
No, he gets. I mean, again, we have to also remember how old he is,
Yeah.
right? And I always try to put this in perspective when you talking to, like, we'll talk to fans outside, and they're like, we expect him to be this. Well, do you expect your 24-year-old self to act this way?
Right.
Right? Do you expect... And so he had to learn, granted, where I got to learn in Jacksonville and you got to learn in Minnesota, right?
Yep.
How to be a pro. He had to learn in the biggest city in the world with everyone looking at you. So there was no chance for you couldn't make mistakes and learn from those like I did and like you did.
And even now, I feel like he's learning about media and starting to spin certain things. And if you're paying attention to what he's saying and how media is spinning, there's a common thread between his quotes. It's being taken in a way where it's spun as almost anti-Giants versus it being pro-Browns. Now let's flash back to June 5th when Beckham was talking about playing with Baker Mayfield.
I've watched Baker since Oklahoma. I think it's the confidence he carries himself with. You can't coach that on anybody. That's something that comes from within you. And he really has that, and it's on display always. I know you guys see it. You have to love that.
He got him a good quarterback in Cleveland. I feel like that's going to be a good dynamic duel in Baker, because Baker bring that energy to that team. He's ready to play every Sunday. every other Thursday if they play Thursday night games. I feel like that energy is gonna carry on to everyone around them. So, he's in a good spot.
About him, he also, I'm gonna have to get adjusted to the speed because he's got an arm. He's throwing that ball hard. So just catching him from the first day, it was like, wow, this is completely different.
Now, a lot of people interpreted this as him knocking Eli. Okay, what do you think?
I don't think it's impossible to answer questions about your former team and not have them spun. I understand that. I think he's answered everything very delicately, almost like you're saying from a different, more mature lens, until I look at social media, and that's where the questions start. Because either of you looked at his feed the past 48 hours?
No, I've checked.
It is 15 tweets potentially, sort of. It's like a stream of consciousness. Where don't tweet that. That's where I have questions. Where
is there anything in particular that he said that you think is wrong?
I want you to take a look at it if you haven't looked at it. It's one of those things where if he's doing that, the question becomes, are you making the Giants look smart for trading you? Because their questions and the questions of the media and maybe some fans, and Giants fans for sure, who feel a little bit slighted with the way he's referring to them, think, good, we got rid of you, you're talking like this, you've still got some emotions to deal with. I've got questions about that, and I think that's fair for Giants fans and the media. And I think there's a fair question at the Giants on how they're going to stretch the field. There's questions, Temple.
How you have questions about something? He ain't throw no shade and no Eli or nothing. He's just saying Baker's a different type of quarterback. He's not bashing Eli or nothing. It shouldn't be no problem.
Sides that won't be resolved until week 1 and on.
I think the only thing to me that matters, especially in this game, is winning, right? Production. And so, how do you win games without arguably one of the best players at his position? Right? So, always go back to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh lost Le'Veon Bell. They went from 13 wins to 8. Now, I get a lot of these fans on my timeline tweet me, but just let's be reasonable. How do you expect to win more games losing AB now? So players win games, right? And I think and we're going to get into this later in the show, but players, you have to allow them to play, and then they'll win you games. Just coaches can lose you games, and they can put you in position to win them, but the players with the ball in their hands, those are the ones that win you games. So that's what I'm concerned about. I think if Cleveland goes out and they win a ton of games, there will be no questions. But if they lose, then the questions will come back.
The way he answered the question, he said, he's faster, he's a little bit stronger. And those things are just pure honesty. Right. At this point in Eli's career, he doesn't have the same arm strength, and he's not as fast. He's never been known to be a threat with his legs. And, Kay, I don't want to be anti-Giants, and I don't want to be pro-Odell because people assume because I know Odell, I'll always stick up for him. But I said it on the show before me and Odell's relationship grew. I said it. They're going to look back at his time with the Giants and they're going to say, you know what, it wasn't that bad. If you really just break down all of the things that we have said, the stuff that hit the back pages, it's never that bad when you have a guy that is a superstar of that magnitude. And was such a game, to MJD's point, he wasn't just a good player that occasionally made your team a little bit better. He was a game changer.
I'm not going to do it, but somebody could bring up a yacht, Paris, Lil Wayne.
I'm cool with
all of those things.
They worrying about his off season or the time that it was in the playoff. He was in a yacht. They worrying about all this negative stuff. See, that's what they want to portray him as. They don't see him as a good football player. That's what's wrong. They look at Odell as a football player, not what he did off the field.
I'm okay with that because he had the one-handed catch. And how many times did he take a 3-yard slant to the house, 60 yards?
Okay, there's dudes with 25% of his talent that act up way more. I'll take whatever Odell's antics are with the superstar talent he brings to my team.
We can all agree he is one of the best players on the field, a game changer. And this is the mentality I think we all agree that he himself has to have going into this year, that he's in a good place mentally, spiritually, fundamentally. And we can't wait to see it all unfold. But let's switch now to one of Beckman's former teammates.